These videos are not for children. Well, gang, it's time to talk about peak fiction once again, aka Batman, the animated series. I got on here in my Catwoman video mentioning how Batman the animated series redefines villains on making them multi-layered and complex, as well as setting the groundwork for what they would become in later adaptations. However, on my Catwoman video where I talked about how Batman the Animated Series did her filthy by underutilizing her and not giving her the death she had in the books, today we want to look at one of the best villains that this series reinvented, aside from Mr. Freeze. That being Two-Face. And I want to do so by analyzing his debut episode. Well, not his debut episode because he debuted as Harvey Dent 2 episodes before this, but I mean the two-parter where he transformed. Two-Face Part 1 starts with Harvey Dent in a nightmare realm tripping balls, where he sees a shadowy version of himself taller and bigger than he is, telling him, "It's time, Harvey." However, he eventually gets woken up by one of his assistants and is told by Commissioner Gordon that he needs to help stop a robbery, which he goes and does. Well, I mean, Batman did most of the work, but still. Anyway, so Harvey Dent is a public figure who is Gotham City's new district attorney. He's trying to be re-elected as well as plan out his future with his girlfriend, Grace. However, one little problem that's really minor, no one really notices, Gordon and Bruce Wayne and Grace notice that whenever they defeat criminals, Harvey attacks them more violently than what he's supposed to, and multiple times he just flat out disobeys Batman and Commissioner Gordon's orders and just does what the fuck he wants. Eventually, at his re-election campaign, Bruce and Grace get tired of this, so they send him to therapy to get seen what's wrong with him. And it turns out that when he was a kid, he beat the shit out of a bully so hard that they went to the hospital. Although it was really for something completely unrelated, but Harvey still felt bad. And with the emotional manipulative abuse from his father, he developed a second personality called Big Bad Harv to repress all his anger. Which, naturally, that coping mechanism was shitty because now he's stuck with a second personality that tries to beat the shit out of his therapist. Although she snaps him out of it, and they realize that it's stronger than they could ever imagine. She tells him to go to a mental hospital for a few days, but he doesn't want to because he wants to be re-elected. To a sign, I want to mention something real quick. The titular coin. So, Two-Face has his coin that he flips to his side decisions. Regular side, good. Scar side like this, bad. However, the coin is just there. Like, when Harvey goes to his therapist and he turns to Big Bad Harv, he goes to his pocket, gets a titular coin, albeit unscarred, and it's just there. It was never there to begin with. We don't know where he got it from, because in the comics, it was a coin his dad used to abuse him, and he took it as an adult away from him. And the Dark Knight trilogy, the Two-Face coin there was a good luck charm given to him by his dad. Here, it just spawns. Anyway, so Rupert Thorne gets a hold of Harvey and his files and blackmails him that if he doesn't lay off his case, he's going to expose his evil alternative side and his various crash outs to the public. And so he agrees to. Not really. Instead, he beats the shit out of him and Batman joins in and helps him fight, albeit with no killing as usual. And it's actually going really good. They corner Rupert Thorne and his men into a corner and everything. Although while Batman and Harvey are finishing up the crooks, Thorne grabs the files and runs away with them, and Harvey gets chased with Batman in pursuit. However, the problem is they're finding Thorne in a factory, and that's what I know as superhero media. Factories and laboratories means that there is some random bullshit that's going to give you superpowers. And so, loose wire thrown by one of Thorne's men falls into this conveniently placed vat of, I don't even know what this is, but it appears to be explosives as it blows the fuck up and burns Harvey alive, leaving his body smoking near the craters. And this is my favorite part of the episode. Batman takes him to the hospital as Bruce Wayne, where he gently asks, "What about his face?" And then the doctor says that's for later. Although a plastic surgeon should be able to fix most of the physical scars, although Batman's worried about the mental scars. And Rupert Thorne is jumping for fucking joy during this scene. And then the best part, the face reveal. We don't see his face. We don't get some type of jump scare of it. All we see is the doctor gently telling him there's going to be some scarring, but he scheduled a surgeon already. You can see a giant eye that is bloodshot peeking from the bandages. The doctor and nurse go away in fear of the face. Harvey is already pissed off, he just needs to know how pissed off he is. The doctor won't give him a mirror, so Harvey grabs and yeets him the fuck away, and he gets it himself. And, well, yeah, he is real. His girlfriend Grace asks him what happened, and hearing her voice, he slowly turns towards her. Cause after all, how bad can it be is fucking bad. Although here instead of being burnt flesh, it's more of a skin mutation. And as for this monster design, it's the first time TVs was adapted outside the comics, and this pretty much became a streamlined design, bulging eye and all. Blue is the best color ever, but I'm not really a fan of the blue here because he looks like he's from the movie Avatar. Although I do like the yellow bulging eye and the exposed teeth are creepy. His girlfriend Grace Lamar fucking face when she sees this because it's literally half a burnt man in front of her that's pretty much a zombie. Disgraced by this, Harvey escapes through the night in the window. 6 months later, yes, it's in, this man has been decaying and rotting away for 6 months straight. He targets Rupert Thorne's groups by himself and his own minions. This time around with his name changed to Two-Face. And he actually does a really good job at it, albeit robbing, but hey, he's getting rid of Thorne's organizations. Although he realizes he has no friends. He has no family. He's all alone. And it's not just him either. Grace is heartbroken because she doesn't know where Harvey is, and he is on the loose. Batman is lonely because he didn't have Robin yet. He drove away Catwoman, especially later to the series. And his own best friend is now a half-human, half-zombie. He's having nightmares about how he couldn't save him or his own parents. Harvey arranges a meetup for him and Grace, after a coin flip of course, and he shows her his hideout, albeit with a bag over his zombified face. Grace doesn't care and she wants to see Harvey for who he is, so she removes the bag and embraces his zombified self. However, Rupert Thorne put a tracker in her purse and he finds them. However, Batman shows up and it leads to a rematch, which they do win. However, they still have to deal with the Two-Face problem because Harvey wants to shoot Thorne dead for burning him alive. And honestly, I know Batman doesn't kill, but really, dude, you shouldn't just let him do this, honestly. Like, it's only fair. And Thorne, later to the series, creates Bane, spoiler alert. So not only did he burn Two-Face alive, but he made another villain for Batman to fight. Anyway, so in order to get rid of Two-Face, Batman throws a bunch of coins identical to Two-Face's when he flips a coin for a decision. He has a mental breakdown that is both sad and hilarious to watch. Sad as in what's happening, hilarious as in Richard Mole's vocal performance. Grace Lamont embraces Harvey while he's crying, and then the episode ends with him and Rupert Thorne getting arrested. He doesn't get better, he doesn't get his skin back. No, it's just like that. As for Richard Mole's performance, this is my favorite Two-Face performance of all time. I love the fact that he has Two-Face have a raspy voice because he literally got burnt alive, so realistically, half of his vocal cords should be burnt. I hate when Two-Face has a regular white dude voice because it is so off-putting. Like, do this. Like, how could this cartoon from Saturday morning in the 90s manage to make Two-Face have two voices, yet we can't even get that nowadays? So, in the end, Two-Face Part 1 and 2 is a masterpiece and a perfect intro to the best take on Two-Face. Although I wouldn't really say it's as impactful as Mr. Freeze's, but still, great introduction to an amazing villain and one of the best supervillain performances of all time.